Hey guys, what is going on? And I was going to record this video yesterday, but I couldn't remember if I did a review, and it may be recorded, I just didn't upload it yet, who knows. But I'll just go ahead and do it over again. My movie reviews don't tend to be super long anymore because I do talk about the movies, but I don't think I go into great detail, and I don't think I need to, really, to be completely honest. I think what people are looking for are people to see a movie that they have seen and what their thoughts are. Normally, I would think people don't check out movie reviews until after they see it, but there are a few people that are kind of weird and probably will watch things even though whatever. But anyway, I checked out with my son because I haven't seen The Force Awakens yet, and I figured what better time to start watching Star Wars with my son. Unfortunately, he left for like a week and a half, so I can't watch anymore without him. I'm trying to watch them with him. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. But I kind of want to give myself a refresher because I want to go into The Force Awakens with all the knowledge that I have. So I'm trying to watch them in the order of their release. So, okay. Anyways, Star Wars: A New Hope. We started watching, we watched that completely. It took a couple days. My son was actually pretty into it. He actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It was the remastered version that came out, I believe, in the 2000s. I think it came out around the time of the pre-episodes came out. Episode 1 through 3. And I did explain to my son that, in my opinion, you probably should watch them in the way that they were released in order, because I think it makes more sense. And to me, I don't know if you could watch them any other way. I mean, you probably could watch them all the way through, but I just think, as a person who respects the original trilogy, I think you should watch that first. And then, go and watch episodes 1 through 3, and then watch the new ones, and whatever ones they'll release in the future. Because I'm assuming they probably will make more. They just gotta have time to create stories and continue the history of what's going on. They have to figure out the new stories, because I think it's really good that they do them in trilogies, and I do think that's a great idea. But A New Hope, pretty much the first Star Wars movie ever made, and they only added, I think, A New Hope to it I don't know when they added it, but it seems like I didn't even hear about it being called A New Hope until they released the prequels, the episodes 1 through 3. I know that's probably wrong, because I do think that when they released the VHS copies, it had A New Hope on them. And I do remember, I believe that came out before episodes 1 through 3. So, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they named it A New Hope a long time ago. Before the episode 1 through 3. I keep saying prequels, but really, just call them episode 1 through 3. And when we get to the things, I think people's opinions of the movies and mine are completely different when it comes to which ones I like and which ones I don't like. So, yeah, we'll talk about that later. But A New Hope. Now, I remember this movie, and when I went into watching it, I'm like, I know this is going to be rough to get through, because I remember it being slightly boring. Maybe because I'm older, maybe because I haven't watched it in a while, that it didn't seem boring at all. And there's a couple parts I didn't even remember. So, I didn't remember Han Solo shooting the alien guy near the beginning of the movie. I was like, whoa, he killed somebody? I didn't remember that. What in the hell? A Disney movie? Okay, sorry. Yeah, and that's something my son mentioned, like, they're doing this stuff in a Disney movie? And I had to explain to him, like, well, it wasn't always a Disney movie. It wasn't a Disney movie to begin with. So, the first 6 movies are going to be different And they may have things, words, and actions that wouldn't necessarily reflect a Disney thing because they just now purchased the Star Wars thing. I don't think they owned it during the prequels. I want to say they did not own them during that. Episodes 1 through 3. I can't stop doing that. But A New Hope is pretty much a story of Obi-Wan meeting Luke, telling Luke about the Force. And if you haven't seen Star Wars by now and you're like, no, spoilers. Dude, this movie came out in 83, 85, somewhere around that time frame. If you haven't seen it by now, I don't know what to tell you. It's been out a while. Go watch it. I'm going to talk about spoilers. But that's pretty much what it is. You see Princess Leia for the first time. Her and R2-D2 interact. You get to see C-3PO and R2-D2's relationship kind of start, or how good of friends they are and things like that. And you get to see just a lot of things that start. And you see Obi-Wan disappear, and I totally do not remember what happens with Obi-Wan. So, when Darth Vader hit him with the thing, and he just like disappeared. And I don't know if he died, but I want to say he did. And he shows up in spirit form when they're on the Ewok thing in the next movie, I think. But I don't know. I don't remember a whole lot about it. That's why I'm excited to watch the trilogy, and hopefully it doesn't go off of YouTube TV before I get to watch them, because I'm going to be super, super upset. That's why as soon as every weekend, when it's me and my son, we're going to watch the crap out of Star Wars. Anyways, but yeah, New Hope was really, really good. If you haven't seen it, like I said, it's all at the beginning of the Star Wars thing. You meet Chewbacca, you meet Han Solo, you figure out what they are, their personalities, and you know, they save the princess, they battle Darth Vader, they blow up the Death Star. It's really awesome. I mean, it's a really good movie, and you think, you know, man, that was really good. And to think that was the first movie made of this trilogy, and people like flocked to the theaters to see this, and then they were just awaiting when it was announced there was going to be another one. Oh my God! Like I've heard that, you know, people lined up to watch the second one really hardcore because they were just waiting for it. And seeing this movie, I can understand why. It still holds up to this day. My son was still into it. A movie that came out in 83, 85, somewhere along that. A movie that came out around that time frame, and my son is still into it. It kept his attention, so that tells you something, that it's really, really timeless. Even though it was the remastered version from, like I said, the 2000s, they updated everything, and like Jabba the Hutt was not even a lizard during this movie, technically, but when they updated the graphics, they made him into a lizard in this movie. I remember that part. Then there's some other things they edited that was, I think, normally there was just like, it was practical effects, and they just added a little CGI. Some people don't like it, some people don't. I don't think it matters really. There's a couple things that you notice. The only thing I think, though, it was good that CGI was during like the battle scenes and things like that. I'm assuming they kind of made more of a highlight thing because of that and did that. So that's really all I gotta say. There's not really much to say about Star Wars. Either you like it or you don't like it. If you're into that type of movie, then you're into that type of movie. And I'm not a big sci-fi nut, but I like good sci-fi films that has action, that has a little bit of humor, keeps your attention. You know, I'm not a fan of like Star Trek and Star Trek. How you say that? Anyways, I want to get into that, but I just haven't had the time. I don't have the time to sit down and watch tons of episodes of Star Trek. I've started watching Deep Space Nine at one point because somebody told me to start with that one. And I think I actually started with Next Generation because they told me to start with Deep Space Nine, but I didn't want to completely jump to things. But I did start watching that. But Star Wars is a whole other different animal. It's a whole different galaxy. And there's a lot of cool creatures and characters and things like that. And there's just a lot of history with it, and it's so current right now that it's not surprising that my son, liked it and enjoyed it, because he's heard about all these things, and especially with Lego doing stuff with it, and the video games doing stuff with it, and the new movies coming out, and you see stuff on commercials, and then people parody the stuff all the time, and with YouTube, I'm sure people that he watch parody it or mention it, and it's just common, everyday things that people have seen. Everybody has seen Star Wars, pretty much. So that's why I wanted to sit down and watch Star Wars movies with him. A New Hope, such a great movie. If you've never seen Star Wars, oh my God. If you're younger, you definitely need to watch it. Go check it out. And I don't think it matters which one you see. If it comes on TV, which I think that's what YouTube TV does, it gets the movies off of TV. And that's not bad. In some movies you don't want to watch off TV, but most of the movies, it's not that bad. Especially classics like Star Wars, it's not going to matter if you watch it off TV and stuff. I don't think it's going to matter. But anyways, Star Wars, A New Hope, a great movie. If you've never seen Star Wars and you're into action movies and classic movies from the 80s, this is a movie you got to check out. It's so awesome. And if you haven't seen it in a while, go check it out, because the newer movies are the biggest thing going today, man. They're pretty hot today, and I know they're not as super hot as they were back then, but I do think there is still a huge following for Star Wars. I do think the want for more Star Wars has gone down a little, because I think that other things has come up that has kind of overshadowed Star Wars, and people are more into that now. I think more people that like Star Wars are probably in the video games and things like that. But Star Wars spans several generations. So 3 or 4 generations of people like Star Wars. So it's kind of hard for it to completely go away. It's not going to go away overnight. People aren't going to forget about it overnight. And as we introduce more generations to it, it's not going to go away. And that's a good thing, because Star Wars is really, really awesome. Anyway, that's my comment. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me your thoughts on Star Wars New Hope down below. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you watch it with the special effects, or do you hate the special effects? What's your thoughts on that as well? And as always, what's your favorite Star Wars movie of all time? Like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz. Catch you guys later. Keep rocking and keep on watching Star Wars.